Good afternoon everyone, it's Tangi from Papercrafting Australia. Thank you for joining me for another Crafternoon Box tutorial. Today we are going to make a squash fold card, so I hope you will join along at home, whether you're here with us live or you're watching the recording later on. All of our other tutorials you'll also find on our Facebook and YouTube channels. So welcome if you're here for the first time. Jump into the chat, say hi, let us know where you're from. We love to know where around Australia or around the world you are joining us from. So welcome to my studio. We're going to do, it's probably going to be a little bit less than an hour tutorial today because this is quite a quick and easy card to make. And we do have our upcoming September launch coming at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So I need to just jump off in time to be able to get everything prepped and ready for that. But if you're joining us again, it's Sunday the 1st of August today, and I can't believe we are this far into the year. I know I keep saying that, and I know that with the September launch coming up this afternoon, I just feel like we are already on the last little stretch towards the end of the year, even though we've just gotten through July. So in my world, we are very, very close to the end of the year already. But let's jump in and have a look at what we're going to be making. So I'm just going to pop in and have a quick look at who's in our Facebook channel. So Margaret, you can probably see my arm reaching across. This is me getting to my iPad today. I've moved everything around. I've managed to find my overhead light today. So we've got that nice and bright on the desk. So that's nice and helpful. Margaret's in the chat. Hi Margaret, welcome in from Canada. Hello Tony. Tony Bensley's on YouTube. And Sharon, good old mum, moderating in on both channels, hopefully. One on the TV, one on the iPad. But great to have you all back. And if you're joining us a little bit later on, thanks for coming and watching. So today, this afternoon, we're going to make the squash fold card. So this one, it's got a little bit of a belly band on it just to hold it shut because it is one of those thick, bulky, kind of pop kind of cards. And so it is just as simple as that. So it's a nice little kind of triangle type fold that gets the card just squash down into the little square. So the finished square, I think from memory, it's 4 1/4 inches square. So you may or may not, depending on what size envelopes you're using in your native country or area, you may or may not be able to fit that into a normal sized envelope. You might have to custom make one, but see how you go. Hi Deb, thank you so much for joining us. And Mum says she's present on YouTube. That's good. She doesn't get paid, she just gets love, which she'd get anyway. So thanks, Mum. Awesome. So really, really simple sort of products and materials that you'll need for this one today. So we are just going to need a 12 by 12 inch sheet of cardstock or patterned paper. You can use either, whatever is your thing. And we're also going to need to cut some patterned papers. Now again, it's your choice how many of the pages you cut. For my example, I've actually put one each on the front and back, and I've put 2 pieces inside, but it's up to you. You can definitely cut down some triangles if you wish and go and pattern paper all of it, but that's up to you. We are just going to do the four pages today. Alrighty, so I am going to use 4 pieces of patterned paper because we're going to need to cut dimensions that are too big for us to be able to cut 2 pieces out of each piece of paper. So if you're wanting to follow along with the example, it's 4 pieces of patterned paper that you'll need. I've also got a fairly large scrap of just white cardstock. So I'm going to use that for my writing block to put in here. So I've got somewhere to write something for my recipient. And I've also got a bunch of ephemera and die cuts and bits and pieces that have come from the Explorer pack. So we're using the patterned papers and the ephemera and sentiments from the Kaiser Craft Explorer series. And today I'm just going to use the Couture Creations matte photographic black cardstock that we have in our store at papercraftingaustralia.com. I'm also going to need a bone folder. I'm going to need a glue pen, scissors, and I've got some double-sided tape. Glue pen, double-sided tape, whatever is your adhesive of choice, either will work, totally fine. I've got my Couture Creations guillotine and paper trimmer, and I'm actually going to use my paper trimmer as a scoreboard today as well. So let's get into some dimensions. I have posted them into the videos today. So if you go to the Facebook description or the YouTube menu, you'll be able to see the dimensions that we've got there. Hopefully I haven't stuffed any up. We'll see how we go. So first thing I'm going to do is just cut down. I'm just going to move some of my things off to the side so I've got some workspace. That would be a good first step. And I'm going to cut down this base card, or if you're using paper, either or. I'm going to cut to 8.5 by 8.5 inches. Once again, Tony, sorry that we're doing inches again today. I'll get you back onto a millimetres one for the month of August. Okay, so 8.5 by 8.5. Now I do have my camera set up in a, I just want to see how, oh yeah, okay. See how far I have to go before my head gets in the screen. It's got to go a fair way. Good to know. Should have tested that before I went live, but that's okay. These are the things we do. Okay, so now that we've cut down our cardstock, we're now going to score on the first side. Now, because they're even, it's the same, whichever side you decide to be side one. We're going to score all the way down at 4.25 inches. So that is my little special black mark on this one. And I'm just putting this into my paper trimmer and I'm using my bone folder, just going into the little groove where the cutter would normally go. And I'm just using my bone folder there. Hello, Judy. Thanks for popping back today. Welcome back. Hope you've had a good 24 hours since we last saw you. So that's side one. I'm just going to turn that 90 degrees and we're going to score again at 4.25 inches. I nearly went to trim that then. That would have been a disaster. What a good start to a video. Shop, I've just put my paper in half and now I need to get a new piece because I've just totally muffed it. Anyways. Okay, so now we should have the 4 even quarters of the cardstock. It might be hard to see. Black on camera is not very good. I'm then going to totally turn my cardstock over and I'm just going to score on the diagonal from one corner to the other. Now I know from doing this in the past that this size is just enough, just big enough to go into this, this paper trimmer. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Just score all the way. So just a diagonal from one corner to the other. It doesn't matter which corner you choose. Just pick one and go for it. All right. And that's pretty much it for that part of the project anyway. All righty, chuck that over there. So what we're then going to do is for the side, so I've just, I've ended up keeping this where the grooves from the score lines for our 4 quarters, I've got the raised side facing up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold all of these and burnish them on those score lines the same way you would. So the mountain side or the bubble bit from your score always goes to the inside of your card or project. Open that up and I'm going to do the other one. Burnish that. I am going to need to burnish it a little bit more in a little while because it will kind of feel a bit funny and it'll start to pop back. I'm then going to flip this over so that I can then do the burnishing of the diagonal fold. So just fold that over. Give this one a good rub. This diagonal fold gets a lot of action in this card. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it back over again. So what you'll find is that your card will start to go in the right direction. So if you have got your triangles on the left and right hand side of your project, you should then find that you're able to fold them up, push the top part down, and that's your squash card. So this is the part where I'm just going to go back over and burnish every single one of these front and back because it does like to pop back up. I seem to have a lot of little white loose bits floating around my desk. I didn't wipe it down earlier, so I've probably got lots of little gremlins. And then to do the diagonal ones, you're just going to need to open one of them so that you've then got one on your desk, and you'll be able to get your bone folder right into that corner and give it a good burnish there. Pop that one up and push the other one down. Kind of looks like you're making a box. And again, get your bone folder right in there. Give it a good push. All right. So then you should be able to quite easily open and close your card. Now it's up to you whether you want your card to be presented on a diagonal or on a square angle. Certainly if you've got it on the diagonal and it opens up, it presents quite nicely, and people can put it, on a mantle against a wall or something like that, and you can kind of see it on display. If you present it on the square side, it's still fine, but you might find that people need to almost flatten it completely out to be able to enjoy the full splendor of your creation. So now we'll get to cutting some papers so that we can decorate our beautiful little project that we're doing. Nice, quick, easy one today. No one should have any major dramas with this. As long as you score things the right way, it's all good. I'm just going to take my mini guillotine, sorry for the clunking, and I'm going to grab my patterned papers that I chose earlier and put that one aside for a minute. So these ones, pattern papers, we're just going to cut down to 4 by 4 inch squares. Lots of scoring this weekend, Tony. There was a bit of scoring going on. You wait till you see one of the projects I've got for you next month. There is a lot of scoring going on. All right, 4 by 4 inches we're going with. Now just be mindful if you've got a particular pattern that's directional, that you've got things going in the way that you want. I'm not particularly fussed with any of these ones that I've got today. They're all good. The only one I've got an issue with is the one that I'm going to do in just a minute. So just cut down however many pieces that you want to cover in your project to 4 by 4 inches, bearing in mind that there will be one that kind of gets partially covered up by your writing block. And again, this might give you some extra little bits and scraps that would be really useful on the project that we did, one of the projects that we did yesterday with the mini album. Make some nice little top flap bits with that, I would think, and maybe some of these longer bits you could use on your little insert cards. If you didn't catch our tutorial yesterday, or our 2 tutorials yesterday, by all means jump back in and have a look there on our YouTube and our Facebook pages. So this one, because it's got the divide in the middle, I actually want to cut the paper so that the top half and the bottom half are equal. So I'm just going to line this little patterned line up on my 2 inch mark, which is about there, give or take. And then I'm just going to cut that little strip off the bottom. Now I can go back this way and cut to 4 inches. And I should have 2 inches above and 2 inches below that little change in the pattern and the colour there. Looks pretty good to me. Hi Yvonne, thanks for joining us on Facebook to watch our tutorials. Alrighty. Sharon says she finds scoring therapeutic. Tony says, so do I, but I have to check the replay regularly to make sure I'm getting it right, especially the measurements. Yeah, it's one of those things where we have to pay a little bit of attention, don't we, to where those measurements are. Tony, I think you're pretty good on this one because there's only 3 lines that you need to score, only 3 measurements that you need. Okay, so from here we can start assembling our card, and I'm going to pop this one on the front of my card. Am I going to put that on the front? Yeah. I'm going to have mine in the square kind of orientation. I'm just going to use just the Craft double-sided tape. I'm still unpacking things in the new studio, and tape is one of those things that I haven't unpacked out of a box yet. So never mind, it'll get there eventually. I managed to get my Cricut machine unpacked and my 3D printer last night. Got that all ready to go. So we're getting there. And I found my power cable for my overhead light. So that was a win. I've been looking for that for nearly 2 weeks. Never mind. We got there eventually. I mean, it was bound to turn up. What else did I get? Oh, I got my printer set up last night. It was a very busy day yesterday. Very busy day. I get to put my first load of washing out on my new washing line today because that's been put up. Ben put that up for us yesterday. That was good. Cooked another beautiful pasta meal on the new stove. Okay, so just using my little technique of putting the top right corner and the bottom left corner sort of roughly into place so that I can kind of get things lined up. If you can get those two into an even spot, you should then be able to push down and the other two corners will go down into an even position. Let's see how you go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to pop this, this pretty pattern on the back. So this is, again, these are all from the Explorer collection that Papercraft have put out. So the 6.5 by 6.5 inch pad. And this has some really beautiful embossing on it. So it's got like a little map pattern at the back, and then there's like a UV gloss, clear gloss over the top. So I just think it's kind of nice. Hi Christine, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Coming in to check out what we're doing. We're making a squash card today. So just a quick little simple one. But we've got quite a few tutorials for all different projects hanging around in our YouTube archives and on Facebook. So welcome and hope you enjoy. Here we go. We're also launching our September kits later today. So they'll be on sale from today through till the 6th of this month, which is, what month is it, Tangi? It's August. Okay. I was working in 3 different months at a time. It gets a bit confusing for my poor little brain. So we'll be launching that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So if you're interested in what comes in our kits and, you know, where people got all of these little bits and pieces from, this is our July kit. August one is about to get shipped. So that one has been and gone. The ship has sailed on that one. But you can get in on the action for our September kit. So there's that. All right, I'm just making sure because these they've got directional patterns, you want to be able to read them in. I'm just making sure that the front and the back are facing up the right way. Not that it would really matter. Sticking that down. I really love those words on there. I think it looks great. You can see the gloss. It looks beautiful. There we go. All right, I'm going to fold this one out fairly flat so we can work on the insides. Just going to pop these two. So again, I'm just going to pop these in the corner, top left, bottom right, so the ones that don't have the triangles on. As I said before, if you wanted to, you could pattern paper those, and you'll just need to trim them down so that you can fix those into place. So you might need to take an extra, I don't know, ½ inch off your dimensions and then cut on the diagonal, and you should have something that fits fairly nicely in there. I'm just going simple today. Very neat front and back, Margaret, yes. we try to get something very neat. Oh, Tony, were you referring to my productive day yesterday? Busy but productive, yeah. It was kind of nice. It's almost feeling like home now in the new house. It's for the last couple of weeks. It has, like, we've been here 3 weeks now. I can't believe it. It's just flown, but it's still, up until very, very recently, it still felt like we were staying in an Airbnb. Like it wasn't quite ours. Our furniture was here, but it was just like somebody else has got similar furniture to us. But the house is starting to feel more like home. We installed some doorbells this morning, so now we can tell if someone's knocking on the door, because the house is really long. And our driveway is very short. So the posties, by the time they knock and then they decide no one's home, they're pretty much back in their van by the time we get to the front door, because we don't really hear it. So hopefully the doorbells will help. I'll let you know how that goes. They still do a knock and run, which drives me stupid because the post office we went to the post office yesterday to pick something up that got delivered to Ben during the week. And we were all home, so they didn't knock very loud, or they didn't try or something, I don't know. But we didn't hear them, so we had to go and pick something up. There was a line, I kid you not, outside the post office on a Saturday morning. There were at least 15 people in line in front of us when we got there at like 11. I mean, they close at 12, so I think it was like, you know, everybody doing that last minute, like, oh, I'll just go to the post office. But look, to their credit, they moved really fast. But there was one girl, poor thing, training on a Saturday morning that was ridiculously busy, so she had to keep asking her supervisor for help. So I felt bad for her. I was like, surely there was a quieter day of the week, but they obviously needed someone, so there she was. But yeah, so that was our trip yesterday. So I forgot to tell you guys that yesterday. I told you all about my Bunnings sausage. That was my most important news. So yeah, so we put doorbells in today. So that's good. Yeah, not much. It doesn't feel like much else to tell you, but there's lots of good stuff happening. Lots of little things like, you know, put my first hook on the wall in my studio. It was to hang my cricket mats. First things first, very important, hang the cricket mats in a place where I can use them very easily. Sharon said, they definitely knock and run here. My doorbell has stopped working. Have you tried the batteries perhaps? Sounds like that would be a good start, good place to start. Okay, so I'm just going to make a belly band for the front of this card. And to do that, I'm just going to cut, on this one, I cut a 1 inch wide strip. So 1 inch by 12 inches I cut. And, you know, normally we like them to be nice and fitted around the little project, but I thought I might like to try this, you know, little tab thing on the side to help people just to slide it on and off. Sometimes we fit them a little bit tight, and you know, you kind of don't need that. So I made this one a little bit loose. So here's what I did. Get my trimmer back out. So I'm just going to cut, and I know that this cardstock, the Papercraft cardstock, sometimes one side is a little bit longer because it's got that little strip at the bottom. The Couture Creations is a definite 12 by 12. So I know that when I cut this strip at 1 inch, I know it's 1 inch by 12. While I'm on the cutting route, I might cut also my white writing square. So that I'm going to cut down to 3.5 by 3.5 inches. Just so I can really still see all of the beautiful patterned paper underneath, or just on the edge of my project. Alright, that's that cut. Alright, so I did notice I've got a bit of a dirty mark on there. It's not actually, I think it was just dust. I'll just get some tape and pop that one on. Margaret likes her belly band loose. Are you talking about the belly band on your card, Margaret, or is this for like when you're eating at the buffet and you like to have a loose belly band? I love to have stretchy pants when I go on a cruise ship because, you know, you're going to eat at the buffet. You're going to eat more than you should. So I'm with you. Or I like all my belly bands a little bit looser. Hi, Anne. Thanks for joining us today. It's good to have you back. A little bit of both, Margaret. Fantastic. What's Tony said? Your house is the same. We put doorbells in as well. They still don't press them. So we had to make a sign to ask them to press the doorbell. Oh, yeah. Look, we'll see how it goes here. We've got 2 doorbells because obviously Ben's mum lives in the one half of the house and we live in the other half. Both separate kind of sections. We just share a joint hallway to our individual abodes. So we've put 2 doorbells out there so that if they're ringing for ringing for Sheridan, they can ring that one, and if they're ringing for us, they can ring that one. But what's the bet? They just push the first one they see. We'll see how we go. Maybe I'll regret our one being on top. Alrighty, so here we go. Nice little, just a writing square just to go in there. But as you can see, I took quite a bit of dimension off just so that we can keep seeing just a nice highlight of that beautiful pattern paper in the background. Excellent. Alrighty, so back to the belly band. So for the belly band, all we're going to do, get that out of the way so we can see clearly, is I'm just going to fold it in half. Just going to make it 6 inches. Just like that. If I fold up my project, my little squash card, and just pop that onto the card itself, I'm going to get an idea of how much glue I'm going to want to put in here, or how much tape, just to kind of seal it and hold it in place. So for this one, because it's a piece of mechanical paper, I suppose, you know, it's got some mechanics about it, it's going to get taken on and off a few times. I'm going to use liquid glue, just because I find that gives us just a bit of a stronger hold. And here we go again with this glue, because I've not stored it appropriately. All right, fair bit of glue on there. And I'm just going to pop that down. I'm just going to put finger pressure on that just to hold that, that in place. And it shouldn't take too long, and then it'll all be good to go. But we'll have to decorate on here, so we need to start finding something in this pile, not that piece, because that's just a bit light offcut. What would we like to see today? Are we in the mood for adventure? Or wishing you the best on your journey? Also got to put some pop-up bits inside, so we've got to find some bits for that as well. What of you? I just feel like what of you should go on a picture of, I don't know, a photo of a person bending over or something. Oh dear. Maybe. Maybe we've got adventure birthday wishes. Whatever. What about an adventurous birthday? That would be good. I'd like an adventurous birthday. I had an adventurous birthday this year. What am I talking about? I went hot air ballooning. This is literally my birthday from this year. Happy days. All right, I'm just going to double check. That one doesn't have any burrs on it, but this little birthday wishes does. Give them a little trim. Put those little guys off. And chat. Has anybody done any projects over the weekend? Made any of the ones that we've done, or made something completely different? Oh, do you know what? Margaret sent me the cutest photo of her little puppy. Little Ruby. She's so adorable. Little black and white puppy. I don't know how you do any crafting. I just get distracted by the dog. Obviously a better person than I, Margaret, if you're able to do multiple things. All right, I'm just going to pop some liquid glue on here. Just being a bit rough and random with this. With my placements. I reckon I've got it pretty much covered where it needs to be. Again, this is going to wiggle and pop on and off and do lots of things. So the liquid glue will just help it to stay a little bit more strong. As Margaret said, it's not easy. You have to craft when she sleeps. Well, while she's a puppy, that'll be quite regular. What was my birthday? Was that last year's one, Mum? Whatever learning. Oh God, look, lockdown's just, the years just feel the same now. What did I do? What did I do this year then? I don't know. Maybe it was just we went out for dinner. We went and had Japanese for dinner, I think. I don't know. Who knows? Does anyone know, like, where they are in life anymore? I feel like I don't. All right. Might put a little one of those there. A little bit of dream big action down here. It's going to be a fairly specific card, this one, I think. It's kind of like it's got to be a birthday that someone's about to go and do some travels on. But, you know, you can mix and match and you can find all kinds of things that'll work. I'm sure we've all got plenty of things in our stash that we can draw on to help decorate this little project. A little bit of tape. Yeah, maybe you're right, Mum. Maybe that was last year. Hi there, Sandra. Thank you for joining us, watching our little tutorial making a squash card. If you missed most of it, you can go back and watch from the start on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. We're just making a squash card. Now these are great. You can make them obviously in all different dimensions, and they're really, really good ones to make and put into an explosion box. So stay tuned for a bit more on explosion boxes a little bit later in the year. We've got a special project kit. It'll sit outside of the Crafternoon Box, and that is coming later in the year. All right. So you might have seen in the example that I did that I did have a piece that was only fixed to one side of the triangle, so that when it when it opens, it kind of pops up and stays sort of popped up and open, and it just adds another little bit of interest. What have you guys been talking about on Facebook? Something about storage. Trying to sort your dies into better storage. All I've got is a big mess. Oh, Judy, I'm sorry to hear that. Margaret started using magnetic sheets and plastic sleeves. That's a great way. So did I, but I'm trying a different way because they're not so heavy. Yeah, they almost need to go into some of those like plastic trays and things. Yeah. Mum used to have a really awesome easel with a magnetic easel and all her dies on that, and that was really good. That was really cool. I probably would have just run out of room on it and needed another easel before too long, so I don't know if that would have helped anything. Okay. Well, I think for the time being, I think I'm done with this one. Let's have a look. Maybe we could put that down. It's a bit of a tricky one. Maybe I could pop something on this little belly band just to make it a little bit more fun. Have I made it too tight? Has it glued further than I wanted it to? No. Just wasn't holding my tongue right. We can put a little car on there. That would be cute. It's almost like a little button. One of those projects where you just want to keep adding and adding and adding. I don't want to add too much, do I? Okay, so there we go. So that's my little example. Here's the one I've made. So slip off the belly band, open it up, your little happy birthday there, popping up and showing people what's good. Little space to write. You can obviously put more spaces to write if you wanted to. If you had more things to say, or you can add photos. But just a cute little project. something different. People aren't expecting, like I think when we did the twist and pop cards, it's like it's something that people aren't expecting. They're expecting to open it like a normal card, and then you get this weird pop-up cool thing. But you know, it's something different to to give to people and input. Leave that there for the moment. Excellent. All right, let's go back to the front camera. So thank you so much for joining us for that little short, quick and sharp one today. Nice, quick and easy project to make the squash card. So I hope you get some benefit out of that project and can make a few for people in your lives. We will be back again at 4 o'clock this afternoon to launch our September projects, our boxes. So Crafternoon Box and our Card of the Month kit. So we will be back at 4 o'clock so that you can see what is in that one. If you're not a subscriber, there's very limited extras available. So if you want to come along and be part of the fun, see what's in the box, you'll need to jump on fairly quickly so that you can get secure yours. Existing subscribers, you're already done and dusted and sorted, taken care of. So that will be nice and easy for you guys to keep going with. So we look forward to seeing you again at 4 o'clock. If you're watching the replay, by all means, go back and check any of our Facebook or YouTube videos for more ideas and inspiration. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks so much. Bye.